Hey sis, hey. Welcome back to Let's Be Real, the Big Sister edition. It's a bittersweet moment because it's the final episode of season 1. And though we've navigated through some very challenging topics, we've gotten through them. So today, going into the new season, I want to talk about something that's really at the heart of why this podcast even exists, why I make the videos that I post, and really why I do what I do. The power of sisterhood and community. As women, we've gotten this incredible strength when we come together to support each other and share our lives in genuine ways. There's a certain magic that happens in sisterhood, a kind of healing and empowerment that lifts us all up. So, let's chat about how sisterhood can be a source of strength, resilience, and joy. Grab a warm drink, find a cozy little seat, get comfortable while we dive into this topic. So, let's start by asking, what is sisterhood? Really? See, for me, sisterhood is a deep connection built on trust, empathy, and support. It's a relationship where we can fully be ourselves, be accepted, and be loved through the highs and the lows. Sisterhood isn't just about sharing good times. It's about being there for each other in the hard moments too, lifting each other up when life gets rough. Sisterhood is showing up authentically with no mask and knowing that you are accepted exactly as you are. And in this current season of my life, I'm so grateful for the women that God has placed in my life for the years that they've been in my life, because I've gotten to really understand the word sisterhood. And, the relationships are all evolving. And they're evolving into something so beautiful. Everybody came in at their own different time in my life when I needed a sister. And the relationships are all cultivating and changing and becoming more God-centered. And I love that for all of us, honestly. One relationship that I really want to highlight is one that I have with my best friend's wife. She has such a beautiful spirit. And the very first time I moved here to Texas, she was so warm and just very kind-hearted to me anyways, and sweet. And I remember the first time we sat down and had dinner together as, two grown women. And I left there knowing that however God saw fit to strengthen our friendship, that it would be beautiful. And I was definitely right as I've came back, to Texas. Her and I have become like sisters. And like I said, it's more than just us being able to go out and have a good time. We've been there for each other in highs and our lows. She did something that no other woman has done ever, as far as like communicated to me that I let her down and that I disappointed her in certain things. And the way she was able to open up and communicate about that, because I had no idea. Like, I felt like I let myself down on this certain thing, but I didn't know that I let her down. So the way that she was able to communicate that to me, and I accepted accountability. I didn't give no excuse because honestly, yeah, I did drop the ball. And the way I was able to communicate back to her newer expectations going forward and how we handle that whole situation, it validated a few things for me as far as other friendships that I have lost in the past. Like, if things were just communicated and, not taken personally, but just communicated, situations could have turned out differently. But I just thought that was so beautiful. When you think about it, community and sisterhood have been the foundation of women's lives for centuries. In every culture, women have come together to share wisdom. They work through struggles and celebrate each other's triumphs. When I graduated this last program that I was in, she was number one, my biggest cheerleader. Like, hey, I hadn't even taken my certification test yet, and she was already talking, okay, so what we doing for this graduation party? Like, when we doing it, what we cooking? And it's been a really long time since I've had somebody in my corner show up for me like that. I normally show up for people, so to have that, I made sure I let her know all the time, like, bro, I appreciate you. I love you. You just don't understand how much this connection means to me. And honestly, I got to give big props and big shout out to my best friend for not being a selfish man and not allowing me to have that relationship with his wife. They build support systems that hold each other up. But in these modern times, many of us feel isolated. Like, we live busy lives and we're spread out geographically, and often we don't even know our neighbors. But the need for connection hasn't gone away. Sisterhood and community will always fill that void. It will always bring us back to a place of feeling like we belong. And here's the truth. Life is challenging. Sometimes we're dealing with a heartbreak, family issues, career stress, or health struggles. But having a sisterhood, an actual real community of women who understand and support us, can be the difference between feeling alone in our struggles and feeling empowered to overcome them. When you're a part of a community, you know that somebody has your back. Somebody's cheering for you, and somebody's there to give you advice when you need it the most. And there's just something so freeing in that. To know that you don't have to carry it all by yourself is just something so freeing. Now, drama tears. Let's talk about the power of sisterhood, the transformative effect it has on us. When you're surrounded by women who are strong, who are kind, who are resilient, you're inspired to grow and be that best version of yourself. I can speak this from real life and from a real place. I have one amazing sister, Tiffany, and Tiffany is a mother. She's a daughter. She was a student, and to know just the depths of certain things she went through in a season where she was a student, and to see her come out on the other side of that, not only graduate college with another degree, but her daughter graduated at the same time, graduated college with her degree at the same time. And to see that, it just gave me so much strength. Like, okay, now I don't have no excuse. I don't have any children. I've wasted enough time. And I make sure I let her know this all the time. Like, girl, you really motivated me. You really showed me what's possible and that I can do it. And that's ultimately what a sisterhood does. It shows you what's possible. You see other women reaching their goals, healing, finding love, or thriving in their careers, and it gives you hope. Sisterhood tells you, if she can do it, so can I. And it should remind you that your dreams are valid and that you're capable of achieving them. Now, one of the beautiful things about sisterhood is that sometimes it can be based on shared experiences. There's a deep understanding between women that's kind of hard to put into words. It's just like we get each other. Whether it's going through a breakup, dealing with family expectations, or just feeling the pressure to be everything to everyone, we understand each other's journey in such a way that's almost intuitive. This shared understanding is healing. It makes us feel seen, validated, and supported. And there's more. It's so much more to it. Sisterhood helps us break down walls and overcome fears of vulnerability. How many times have you been in a room with other women and felt that little voice inside that says, don't share too much and don't let them see your weakness? Sisterhood, true sisterhood, creates a space where those walls can come down, where we can share our fears and our mistakes or dreams without judgment. When you open up in a safe community, you realize that others have been through similar things, and suddenly your chest don't feel as heavy. You're reminded that you're not broken or alone. You're human. And if there's one person that can attest to me as their sister, making them feel seen, validated, and supported, I know for sure it's my best friend, Didi. Delisha. I love my best friend down, okay? And I'm going to be her hype girl every time. I have seen this young lady in the highs and the lows in the last 7, almost 8 years. And there is not no other woman that I know on the path that she's on that deserves every good thing God has for them besides her. And I don't care how many times I have to tell her, girl, you deserve this. Don't let nobody trick you out your spot. What God has for you is for you. And if that door opens, pray about it and walk through it. And I'm going to be right there beside you every step of the way. I'm going to do it for her. And here's the thing, sis, sisterhood isn't just about getting support. It's about giving it too. Because yes, each one of them have supported me in different moments of my life when I needed support, but I also make sure I give it back to them. There's just a unique joy in being there for another woman and helping her through something that you've been through by sharing your knowledge. Supporting each other gives us purpose and strength. When we lift each other up, we're contributing to the other person's growth and healing, and it creates a ripple effect. When you empower one woman, you empower a whole community, because each of us take that strength and pass it on to others. That's the ripple effect. You know, there's a quote that I love. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And it just simply couldn't be more true for a sisterhood. When we isolate ourselves, we accomplish some things, but we're always going to be missing out on the deeper sense of fulfillment that would have came from a community of women. Sisterhood helps us go far because it's a collective journey. Together, we're more strong, we're more inspired, and we're more empowered. In a community, we just simply can go beyond what we thought was ever possible. Now, let's talk about what it actually looked like to build and nurture a sisterhood, a strong sisterhood. is not just something that's going to happen overnight. It takes time, intention, and willingness to be open and honest. It takes time, intention, and a willingness to be open and honest. You have to invest in it just like any other relationship. You show up consistently, you listen actively, and you give your time and energy. And sometimes it means reaching out even when you're tired. Sending a quick text just to check in. Or showing up for a friend even when it's not convenient. The beauty of it, though, is that when everyone in a sisterhood gives like that, everybody benefits from it. And as your big sister, here's a tip. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Many of us have been conditioned to be strong, to handle everything on our own. But that mindset can actually keep us isolated. Asking for help don't make you weak. It should bring you closer to other people. It allows other people to support you. And that's what a sisterhood is all about. Lean into that support when you really need it and be willing to give it when others reach out. And that's where a lot of people fail at. The relationships have to be give and give. It can't be give and take. It has to have some type of balance. I know there might be some of you listening who feel disconnected or unsure about how to find this kind of sisterhood. Because building a strong community doesn't always come easy. But there are ways to start. Look around the women in your life, at work, in your social circles, or even some of the women you communicate with online. Start by reaching out, by being genuine, by offering a listening ear or a helping hand if you're capable of doing that. Join groups or communities that focus on interests that you're passionate about. It's going to take you being a little vulnerable, but the relationship you build are going to be so worth it. There's a sisterhood out there, and it often starts with one kind gesture and one real conversation. One last thing I want to share is that sisterhood and community helps us create a legacy. When we can build each other up, we're creating a positive impact that goes beyond us. Think about it. Every time you encourage another woman, every time you share wisdom or hold space for someone, you're passing on strength and resilience. The next generation of women will grow up seeing that it's okay to support each other, that there's enough success and happiness for everyone. And this should be a legacy we all can be proud of. To wrap up, sis, I just want to remind you that sisterhood and community are powerful forces of love, growth, and healing. Whether you're already surrounded by amazing women or just beginning to reach out, know that building a supportive community is one of the most rewarding things you could do for yourself and others. So let's continue to lift each other up, to celebrate each other's wins, and to hold each other closer in tough times. When we come together as women, there's truly nothing that we can't accomplish. Thank you for being here with me today and for being part of this sisterhood. Remember, you're never alone in your journey. There's a whole community of women out there who see you, who get you, and who are ready to walk alongside you. Until next time, keep being your beautiful, authentic self. Keep lifting others up, and know that this sisterhood has your back every step of the way. I'm cheering you on, sis. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.